Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk about this guy, the Nikon D7100. Now I've done a video before about the D7000 and how usable it is today, which it is. I use mine all the time. I'm actually making this video on the D7000. I use it in all sorts of places for all sorts of things. And what I do like about the D7000 is because it's not really an expensive camera, so it's my comfortable to take around camera because I don't tend to worry about it, but I can get images that are every bit as good as I can with anything else, albeit that they're 16 meg instead of 24, but this one is 24. Now, this really image quality is Rolls Royce of APS-C. It's very, very, very good, fantastic image quality from this camera, very good. However, there was one fault with this camera, which is why they had to bring out the 7200, and this is it. When you are on RAW and you're on continuous high, this is what you get. 6 frames and then the buffer slows down. So obviously for some situations, especially sports, that's not good enough. The 7200 is much better. That's fantastic. Now there are times, even with something like portraiture, where I would like to be able to take more. Sometimes if you're photographing children, or if you're photographing people having a laugh and a joke and you just want to capture that right expression, you might want to reel off 10 or 20 shots to capture the one that's got the expression that you want. With this you can't do it because it slows down. If you're on JPEG, it will go about twice as long, but the buffer's still not brilliant. But being able to reel off half a dozen shots for most situations, even portraits, even like the ones I've mentioned, it's normally enough. The image quality is very good. The video is very good. You don't have the flat profile like the 7200 is a bit more advanced. So on the movie mode you have a flat profile, so that has lower contrast to get a wider tonal range, and it's perfect for processing afterwards and color grading and so on. But you do have some basic profiles: portrait, monochrome, vivid, and for the main part that's more than good enough. What videos, if you are making videos, are you actually making? Are you really making a color graded CinemaScope video that is an art video that is intended to look as professional as something produced by somebody who does it for a living? Or are you just looking to actually capture full HD videos in very high quality? And obviously with editing there's so much that you can do. That's a choice you make individually. But this is a fantastic camera. Now the value, now you can get these for less than £300, 250 for a good one. That's a lot of camera for the money. This camera, I'm on this now, I've got the 50-1.4. The lens that I like to use the most actually with this camera is this one, the Sigma 17-50. Now I did have the Nikon, is it 16-55, which is about this much longer, but I always use this one because this has fantastic image stabilization on it, and I found that I like using that lens, but more often than not I'm a prime shooter. I either use the 50 or the 24 that I'm filming this on now. If I'm using my Nikon cameras. This is a lot of camera for the money. You can do anything with this. You can do portraits, you can do weddings, you can do anything like that, landscapes, anything, and it is more than adequate for all but the most extreme situations. If you do need the flat profile in video and the higher buffer, then definitely it's worth going for the 7200. You also get about an extra stop of ISO performance. I would say roughly that the 7200 would produce at ISO 3200 the same as this would produce at 1600, give or take. It's a marginal difference, and I don't know how often you actually need to shoot at that sort of ISO, so that's another consideration. But it is very, very good. Definitely in this day and age, if you want a nice robust DSLR that takes very, very high quality images, that opens the world to 50-60 years of Nikon lenses that you can buy at very good prices, then definitely this is worth considering. The difference between the D7000 and this in price now, the D7000 would be between, say, 150 to 200 pounds. Similar condition, this would be 200 to 250 pounds. So I'd lean slightly more in favour of this. But with this camera, you can do anything that you need, and depending how you like to shoot, if the quality of this camera is good, if you're happy with the quality, which there's no reason for you not to be, personally I'd prefer to have two bodies with different prime lenses than one body with either a zoom or to have to mess about changing lenses when I'm out and about. Each to their own, of course. You can get the drive for this as well. The rubber comes off here, and that also gives it extra battery life. The battery life on these is fantastic. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and I forget when I'm out using my Fuji just how quickly those batteries go flat. Anywhere I go, I have to take 2 or 3 with me. This, it can last me over 1,000 frames with one battery. Over 1,000 frames. That's a lot of shooting on one battery. So there you go. The 7100. Never mind, is it still relevant? It's definitely relevant. It's definitely up there with anything that you may need. The race for an improvement on quality has tapered off now, really. Resolutions are increasing just for the sake of increasing, but now they're getting to the point where they'll just be cumbersome, because any more than 24 megapixels, and you download 1,000 or 2,000 shots if you've been on holiday, and your computer is going to be pleading for mercy, because it's just so much. You just don't need that. 16 is adequate. The Nikon D4 was 16 megapixels, and that's been used by professionals up until the D5 came out a couple of years ago, and that's only 20. So this is 24. It's more than enough. It's very, very good quality, and it is fantastic value. D7100, highly recommended. Bye.